Good evening, this is Tennyson E Stead, the writer and director of Quantum Theory, founding member of Eight Sided Films. And today I'd like to discuss an element of the artistic temperament and personal value that I think has really driven me to achieve what I've achieved in this industry and to keep building Eight Sided Films and to move forward with projects like Quantum Theory, even though it's, as a whole, overwhelmingly unlikely that any given film project is going to succeed, and certainly that any film company is going to succeed just statistically. It's what they call a high failure rate industry. And one of the conversations I've been having a lot in my personal life, just because there's been a lot of new people coming into my life, has been the question of whether or not I put a lot of undue pressure on myself to succeed for various reasons. And in particular, it's a question that's been coming up because of the brain injury and because of all the conversations I've been having with medical personnel about what my future should look like in the wake of traumatic brain injury. And I think if you ask anyone whether or not they put pressure on themselves to build something of themselves or to build a future for others, who has been successful in any high-risk endeavor or any high failure rate business, they're going to see the question a little bit differently than it's being asked. I'm being asked essentially, am I causing myself stress? Am I giving myself unrealistic expectations that I can't fulfill, right? And setting myself up for failure. And to me, that's a loaded question because it assumes that I can't do what I set out to do. At the end of the day, I look at the goals that I've put in front of myself as a responsibility and an obligation. I personally believe, and I think that many extremely successful people believe, that it is the responsibility of an individual to fulfill their potential and to contribute what they have to contribute that's unique, to do the things that nobody else can do and to do them better than someone else might do them in their stead. And does that value create pressure? I'm sure it does, but it's not a sense of unfulfillment that I'm left with at the end of the day. It's a sense of understanding what's in front of me and what I still have to achieve, and where I sort of get a foundation on which to deal with whatever pressure that value system might put on me is in the fact that I know tomorrow I'm going to do all the things that I have to do to fulfill my goals and fulfill my potential. And the day after that, I know that I'm going to do what I have to do to fulfill those goals and fulfill that potential, and so on and so forth. So when I finish the day today, I don't necessarily feel like I haven't accomplished anything. I know that what I've accomplished is a very small piece of a much larger picture, and I know that I'm going to turn around and follow up tomorrow. I have to trust myself, in other words, to support myself. I have to trust myself that I'm not going to quit tomorrow and waste the work that I did today. I have to trust myself that I'm not going to quit next year and waste the work that I did over the last 10 years. And ultimately, when you have earned that trust from yourself, when you've given yourself reason to believe that you're going to back yourself up in that sense, yes, you can put yourself under a lot of pressure to succeed. And at the same time, it just seems like a horrifying waste if you don't just knuckle down and get the work done and finish what needs to be finished. Now, I think it's really important that you do it in a way that's sustainable. I have to build a life right now and live a life right now that empowers me and enables me to get up and do my work tomorrow. You know what I mean? If I go and I completely exhaust myself to the extent that I know I'm not going to be able to get up and do the work tomorrow that's going to finish the work that I did today, well then, I've set myself up for failure. But that doesn't mean I can't put extremely challenging goals in front of myself, and it doesn't mean I can't put goals in front of myself that can't be accomplished in a day or a week or a month or a year. It just means I have to make sure that I'm approaching those goals in the smartest possible way, and that I'm not doing it in a way that's going to disempower me or that's going to unbalance me. Essentially, that's going to crush the force that I'm putting into the work. I need to make sure that every step I take is not a step that's going to knock me over, and it's not a step that I'm going to have to take back, right? And ultimately, on a day-by-day basis, putting in that kind of work makes the goals that I've put in front of myself more real every single day. Puts the goals of building 8-sided films, and it puts more immediate goals like producing Quantum Theory, and still more immediate goals like producing web shows like Declassified. Puts all of those things into a context where you're taking the mountain of work and you're breaking up into pebbles, and you're moving the pebbles with a shovel, right? You have to make sure that you don't pull your back. You have to make sure that you don't hurt yourself with the shovel, but it's a lot easier than moving a mountain. It takes a long time, but you do it one step at a time.